America. And also Mexico and Canada. Home of the World Cup. Land of the free. Unless you actually want stuff for free. Oh no, they don't do any of that. If you actually want something, you've got to pay a lot. You see, if you want a ticket, just one measly ticket to go and watch your nation play at the World Cup of 2026, well, you may as well sell your bladder on the black market, because these lot are taking the piss. One ticket to any of the later stages could set you back thousands of pounds already, with the World Cup of 2026 set to be the most expensive tournament in its history. FIFA are scamming football fans, and here's how. Yeah, no, it's actually mad. I didn't even want to go. I actually, badminton fan, swear down, I've always liked that sport instead. Where's the badminton World Cup taking place? Paris? Yeah, no, actually, I'm good. I'll pass on that one, you know. 7,000 likes on this video. I will try and find a way to scam myself into the 2026 World Cup. And Gianni Infantino, if you're watching this video, you didn't hear anything. Let's try and hit 800,000 subscribers. Once we do, I'm gonna have to get a Liverpool tattoo on my knee. You might need 800,000 pounds though if you want to actually go and watch the World Cup next summer. 2026 World Cup being held across the US, Mexico, and Canada is a bit of a concern for a few reasons. One of the most egregious reasons, and one thing that's got a lot of people talking this week, is the actual ticket prices. Having seen tickets now go on sale on FIFA's official website, some of them are absolutely crazy. FIFA have combined with the United States of America to create an entirely new strain of super greed.
6 billion viewers for the World Cup, 6 million coming to the matches, 30 billion economic impact.
No, genuinely, once we start getting into the knockout stages, tickets are up into the thousands of dollars already. There are tickets for the final already selling for 25 grand. This thing isn't just a cash grab, this is a cash snatch. And the crazy thing is about, you know, buying tickets that are this expensive, we don't even know what the games are gonna be. Not even half of the nations that are gonna be playing at this tournament have even qualified yet, let alone seen draws for the group stages or the knockouts. Fans don't even know what tickets they're truly buying. They could drop £1,000 only to realize they've spent tickets on Uzbekistan versus Tunisia. My parents can be questioning who sold the house just so that they can go and see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo play against each other one final time. Who am I kidding? Cristiano Ronaldo's got about as much chance of staying in the United States as a perfectly legal working family from El Salvador.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Donald Trump's going to be getting horny just seeing teams build and assemble walls to stop free kicks during group stage matches.
We did this. Doesn't matter what anybody says.
One England fan group have done the maths on how much money it would take to ensure you could watch England throughout the entire group stages up to the final. Do you want to know how much it would genuinely set you back?
$200 billion.
Okay, no, I'm joking. But the research they did suggested it would be about $3,500. That was the bare minimum, with the absolute cheapest ticket you could possibly get based on what people were putting on their websites when the first drops came in. And realistically, you're not going to be able to achieve getting the cheapest ticket possible when it all goes to a raffle. You're going to be beaten out by people and end up having to pay a little bit more, and that's even before dynamic pricing comes in. You see, for the first time ever, FIFA are experimenting with a new system that means that if there is a high demand of tickets when they first go on sale, future tickets that would have been the same price end up being even more expensive. If there's then low demand, those prices actually go down. But let's be honest, there's going to be demand, and that means that tickets are going to be even more expensive in a couple of months from now. In fact, they already are. That $3,500 figure, you can consider that about 6 times higher by the time this video is coming out, genuinely, because as I said earlier on, you've got some tickets reselling for $25,000 already for the final, and some of the cheapest going for 3 or 4 times higher than they were originally. There were originally $60 tickets being sold by FIFA on their official website, probably about 7 of them, but those were the cheapest tickets you could get for the group stages. I'll be watching on from my bedroom as those tickets prices skyrocket to $2.3 million thanks to dynamic pricing. And that's before you've even factored in travel or accommodation. You're going to be traveling across 3 pretty massive countries in the United States, Canada, and also Mexico, just to be even more frustrated when you arrive at the stadium and realize a hot dog inside the ground is $300 as well.
Did you see what I did there?
It's a scam.
All of this time, by the way, all of this money, only to realistically travel there as a foreigner and be intercepted by probably about 27 different ICE agents with swastikas tattooed onto their elbows outside the ground. This is going to be absolute bullshit. The US is a mess, bro. I'm going to have to navigate 3 gunmen outside, 1 FBI agent chucking a C4 into the mix, ICE, and probably like radioactive fucking Mountain Dew being sold by a street vendor outside the ground. This thing's going to be a Call of Duty lobby and I've got to drop my entire savings just to get there. Once you do finally get in, probably without 3 of your loved ones, and do finally take your seat up in the rafters with your $60 ticket, you'll then be greeted by Ice Spice, Cardi B, and some country singer you've never heard of in a 2-hour-long halftime show. And the thing is, this is only going to get exponentially worse when it comes to pricings. The amounts that FIFA were putting down on the table in terms of ticket prices were already pretty ridiculous. They were already pretty astronomical and would have already seen this World Cup being the most expensive in footballing history. Now, I understand, you know, at the end of the day, it's the World Cup, yeah, this is the biggest spectacle in the world, arguably, in the world of sport, that is, not necessarily even just the world of football. Billions of people are going to watch the final at home on their TV sets, so I guess why not make people pay a little bit more just to go and watch it in person? This isn't Luton Town versus MK Dons. We can't charge like 40 quid just for people to get in, alright? Obviously, prices are going to be pretty expensive. But two things are making this absolutely insane, right? The first thing, as I mentioned, is the base prices were already ludicrously high in comparison to previous World Cups. The second issue, though, really makes things spiral out of control. Now, if there's one thing I thought Gianni Infantino would know quite a lot about, it's scalps. But it turns out that FIFA and the USA predominantly are just as susceptible as your average Ticketmaster gig. Oh man, I can't wait to go and watch Steve Lacey next year. It's gonna be so okay, never mind. The tickets are 16,430. If you don't know what a scalper is, right? Basically, these are people, or I guess bots in some instance, that can buy a lot of tickets, maybe 10, 20, 30 tickets to a gig, to a concert, to an event. They hoard them all in, ensure that the event is basically sold out, so that they can then raise the prices and sell those tickets on for significantly higher. Maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe even 10 times more than the original base value of the ticket in the first place. This is basically lawless in the United States, as in, like, there isn't really much in the way of legislation that stops this from happening, all right? In the UK, there are laws against it. It still happens, but at the end of the day, at least most tickets that go on sale in this country, you can really only be limited to like 4 or 5, maybe 10 at a max. And that makes it a little bit more difficult for scalpers to do what they need to do. FIFA didn't, however, provide any of their own legislation to actually make this better. They just decided to go along with what the US usually do. This article from The Athletic basically confirms that if you want to, you can buy 4 tickets per match. That's fine, to be honest with you. Like, I guess if you're a family, you know, 2 parents and then, I don't know, 2 siblings or whatever, or you bring your granddad or some shit, then 4 tickets for a game makes sense. Even if you want to go as a group of friends, 4 is a nice number to cap that at. But the issue is that you can buy 40 overall for the entire tournament. Scalpers getting hold of 40 tickets per account is game over for everybody. Now, not only does this mean that anyone who wasn't able to get a ticket in the original ballot has to now pay more, like over the odds, from a scalper who's already bought the ticket in the first place. With the introduction of dynamic pricing, scalpers are now creating artificial demand, which is going to drive the next set of tickets even higher at base level. It's like a chain reaction that just continues to create even more expensive and more expensive and more expensive tickets. It's a perfect combination, and FIFA knew it. That's why they introduced dynamic pricing for the first time ever, and also allowed for the uncapped resale of tickets. Before this World Cup, if you wanted to sell a ticket on, it would have to be the same price as base level. They've scrapped that. There's absolutely no reason to do that other than to just make more money. And the cheapest Category 4 tickets, right, that are available for the World Cup right now, Category 4, are $2,000. And that's probably, like, restricted view. Like, it's got a pole, a mariachi band, and 3/4 of a Walmart block in it. $2,000. Do you want to know how that actually compares to Qatar? The cheapest tickets at the Qatar World Cup for the final, 2022, were $206. That is 10 times less, bro. The most expensive at base level for the US, you know, the World Cup in 2026. I should stop calling it US. It's Canada and Mexico as well. But the 2026 World Cup, right, the most expensive base value was $6,300. For the Qatar World Cup, that was $1,600. So that's an increase of, what, 4 times, basically? The semi-finals are basically 3 times higher. The quarterfinals are 4 times higher. Qatar's like a Gulf state, you know. These lot have got serious money. And we're doing, what, like 5 times, 3 times, 8 times more? What are we even doing here? Again, this is before resale and dynamic pricing as well. And the issue is, especially in the final boss capitalism country that is the USA, there's always going to be someone rich enough and pretty much dumb enough to buy this ticket. The first ballot has already sold out. Now, The Athletic, again, were saying that's due to interest. It's not. It's due to scalpers. prices. And they've even managed to fool this publication into thinking that there's genuine, like, serious interest at these sorts of prices. It's not. It's just fueling and facilitating even more expensive tickets being resold further down the line. Of course, there's interest. There's always going to be. They're going to sell out the World Cup final because it's the World Cup final. What it's going to do is drive away the average fan. It's absolutely horrific for the working class supporter that actually helped to build this sport in the first place from the ground up. And what it means is you're going to get a crowd in something as big as the World Cup final that have seen about 3 football matches in their entire lives, that don't know how to build an atmosphere because they're just rich and just want to go and see the spectacle. And I, for one, don't need their chance in the stands. Fight and win! Now, FIFA are pretending to care. They really are trying their hardest to ensure that you think they care about you. They originally suggested, as I mentioned, that $60 tickets would be available. Now, the actual amount of these, who knows? Taking all things into account, $60 to go and watch a game at the World Cup is really good. And they expressed that. They said that was a really competitive amount. But the reality is, you got a better chance of getting a tour around Willy Wonka's chocolate factory than getting one of these golden tickets. These lot were very keen to make sure that everybody knew they're a non-profit organization, okay? Because they are, technically. They are non-profit, but they sure earn a lot of money to suggest that they're a non-profit organization. Man, they should really link back up with EA Sports because their business models seriously align. And as I said, if FIFA really truly cared about you, again, they wouldn't have made resale tickets uncapped. Once again, that just provides more ammunition for scalpers to be able to charge over the odds that were already over the odds from the original prices in the first place. This is a cash grab. It is pure, it is simple, it is unadulterated, and it is absolutely appalling. And whilst there are things that I'm really looking forward to as far as this World Cup is concerned, I actually don't mind the expansion of the tournament, apart from the fact that players are going to have to play more games. It does give supporters of nations that don't usually qualify for a World Cup a unique chance to actually compete in one without it getting too over the top. Like a 64-team tournament, you're taking the piss now. It doesn't even feel like an accomplishment to qualify for it. But I don't mind. I love the fact we're getting Uzbekistan, Jordan. We're getting some crazy countries, even if there wasn't the expansion. The African section of World Cup qualifying is providing enough shocks that even if it was the normal 32 teams, we'd still have fucking like Cape Verde or Benin going. Either way, I'm looking forward to that. I'm always looking forward to a World Cup. I just have massive sympathy for the people of America, to be honest with you, that are already going through a shit show as it is, but are now completely priced out of being able to go and watch football and an incredible spectacle that's happening in their backyards. FIFA and the world of football over the last 40 years has always prioritized the finances over the fans, but this seems like the most egregious example of it yet on such a big scale. What do you guys think though? Are any of you guys gonna actually be attending the World Cup? Are you looking at buying a ticket? Were you one of the select few to even cop a ticket yourselves for an actual reasonable price? Drop it down below in the comments section. If you have enjoyed this video though, feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.